Well, you can always see two levels of argument here. One is, yes, the World Cup hadn't been in Latin America for a very long time, and Brazil's quite good at football, isn't it? It's quite a popular sport. And that's all good and fine. But behind it, Ricardo Teixeira had to get his World Cup. He needed his own World Cup to loot. You know the term to loot? If we go and find a jeweller's shop and we kick the window in, we loot it, we take all the jewels. And so Ricardo, because he has power at FIFA over Blatter, said, I want my World Cup. What I do with the taxes is nobody's business. You have to get the World Cup here in order to be able to steal from it. You can't steal from a World Cup in another country, not very easily. So it's always been Ricardo Teixeira's determination to tell the Brazilian people, I'm doing it for you, you love football, I'm bringing you the World Cup. And then you see the scandals that have already developed. And what you know is there are more scandals you don't know about yet, but you know they're there. So I think the World Cup was brought to Brazil by a corrupt group of men wanting to exploit your taxes. Forget about the football. That's why it's come here. And that's why it goes to most places. In South Africa, they took the poor people's taxes to build unnecessary stadia, which they can't use now. But the construction companies and their political friends all filled their trousers with money. And that's the background to these Olympic Games. It's the same with the Olympic Games in London. Again, people are being moved out so they can build property developments.
How about the costs? The costs from the beginning to the end is still the same from your point of view?
Well, as I understand, on all these mega events, when they're bidding, they say it won't cost a lot, of money, and then once they've got it, the bill goes up and up and up and up and up, and the taxpayer pays, because you end up in the position where the people are trying to embarrass you. Are you no good here in Brazil? Can you not build stadia? Can't you put on a good World Cup? Yes, we can. It's going to cost money. Let's see your taxes. And it's the same racket. It needn't happen. A World Cup wouldn't be that expensive to run. In fact, the television money is so big, you don't need any Brazilian taxes. You don't need any money out of any taxpayer's pocket, because the event raises so much money in television sales and in marketing that they can end up giving you a profit instead to take money from you.
Do you think it's really necessary to pick 12 host cities for the World Cup in Brazil?
No. If they have stadia there already that can do it, can do a big football game, well maybe, but not building new ones. If you need a new stadium in a Brazilian city, you will think about it for a few years and then you'll build it. The World Cup is used as wonderful pressure. You've got to do it. Only 3 years coming, we've got to have more stadia for the foreigners. And you don't have to. I mean, do you play football in this country or do you play football? Of course you do. You've got facilities, you've got stadia. And it is a television event. So whilst it's nice for Brazilian people to get in to actually see it happening, they're not going to do it anyway because all the best tickets will go to FIFA's friends. So if it's going to be a television event, why should you be paying for things that you don't need, that are no good to you afterwards?
Do you think it's really necessary to put all the existing structures down and to build new stadiums?
No, it isn't necessary. Well, you take a decision with each stadium. Can it be rebuilt or is it too old? If it could be rebuilt, that's cheaper. Because you're paying. If FIFA come in and say, we want you to have 12 more stadiums, okay, and we'll pay for them, well, that's fine. But they're not, are they? They left South Africa in the same level of poverty it was last year, with a whole lot of stadiums they don't need, a whole lot of businessmen, contractors with lots more money. And if you've been to South Africa, the mass of the people are still living in tin huts without any sanitation. And that is a scandal that money went out to FIFA. Nearly $2 billion went out. Those people's lives haven't improved at all.
What do you know about the host city called Natal?
I don't really, to be honest. As a foreigner, I've only been to Sao Paulo and to Rio, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. You tell me about it.
I will. All right.